Hey, it's me, MLB. This is chapter 61 of Touched. This one is titled Meet the League. At the government office, Hawks was placed in a similar cell to the one that your dad had been in for a month or so before he had been taken to jail. He just let himself be taken while his mind mulled over you. If the president has taken her, she'll be somewhere here, but if those League of Villains have her, she could be anywhere. My best bet is either Darby or Twice have her, he thought as he sat down on the bed there. He deployed a feather and directed the quill end to the lock of the handcuffs, picking them easily and letting the cuffs fall to the ground with a loud clatter. I could very easily get out of here, but I need to decide my next move before flying the coop, he thought smugly as he looked at the cell door. He deployed another feather and sent it out under the door, intending to have a little listen to the people around to see if you were being held at the establishment. He rested his head back against the wall, staring up at the ceiling as he listened through his feathers. "We're afraid he's dead," Hawks heard a voice say as his feather floated past the room where the president and a few other people were having a discussion. "You're sure?" the president asked. "Pretty sure," the guy replied. "His car was still out the front here and the driver's side door was open and charred like crazy. We took samples of the ash that was in front of the door and it came back positive for human remains." Who are they talking about? Hawks wondered as he slid the feather into the room and planted it behind a desk. "Well, if it's was him, I'll need to make a statement to the press as to the sad demise of my second in charge," the president sighed. "Can we confirm that it was Hawks's doing?" she then asked. "Sorry, honey, there's no way you could pin this on me unless the villain who did it blabs. But you wouldn't even know who to go looking for unless your 2IC told you about the mission to infiltrate the League of Villains," Hawks thought smugly. "And even then, would you believe what a villain says? I could very easily turn this around on you and get you and the villain jailed." "No, unfortunately," the guy said. "I highly doubt that Hawks has anything to do with this. Your second in charge had been in contact with villains, so it's highly possible that they didn't trust him and came for him." Perfect, Hawks thought. Exactly how I wanted it to go down. "If only we could identify the villain and question them," the president said with a troubled sigh. "Do we know anything about how the second in charge died? Was it related to the villain's quirk? Maybe we could contact the League and find out which one did it, and then offer them immunity if we can get Hawks taken down." "You really have this thing against Hawks, don't you?" the guy said. "He's been running his own way for too long, taking matters into his own hands, and I don't like that he's double-crossed me," the president said darkly. "He is to obey my commands, not ruin all my plans." Hawks smiled. "Okay, well, seeing as your second in charge was disintegrated on the spot, it appears that the person responsible had some kind of fire quirk. He was pretty much cremated," the guy said frankly. Hawks's eyes widened slightly as he had a flashback about his best friend Toya burning to death at his own hands, blue flames engulfing his small form. The winged hero tilted his head down to his hands, opening them and staring at them blankly. "Oh, I should have done something back then. He didn't deserve to die like that. He didn't deserve to die at all. It should have been me," Hawks thought sadly, the echoes of that day replaying in his head. Flashback. "Who's the weakest in class?" the voice of a much younger 2IC shouted at a room full of young hopefuls who had been enrolled in the government training program. "He is!" one of the boys yelled, pointing at Hawks. "He's supposed to be able to deploy all of his feathers and move them all individually, but he can't." "You're right," the young 2IC sneered as he stalked towards a 9-year-old Hawks who had been towards the back of the class. No, it's not me," Hawks's younger voice said in a panic. It's Toya," he blurted quickly, shifting the blame to his friend. Young Toya's scared eyes darted from the 2IC to Hawks, his eyes filling with tears immediately. No, I am strong," Toya replied in a shaky voice. "No, you know what? Kigo's right, you are the weakest," the 2IC snarled, grabbing Toya by the arm and dragging him from the classroom out to the training yard. The petrified students followed meekly, worried for their classmate, but none bold enough to stand up to the ruthless ways of the 2IC. The 2IC forced Toya to activate his quirk over and over, hurling abuse at him if he stopped. Flashback ended. Hawks lifted his hands to his face and slumped forwards, his elbows hitting his knees as a tear slipped from his eye, the echoes of Toya's screams and promising that he would be back to kill the 2IC still ringing in his ears. "Toya, I'm so sorry, he thought. You arrived at the new hideout with Darby, forced into a room full of villainous strangers. It looked like an abandoned bar, but there was this really odd-looking wisp of dark purplish haze in a very elegant suit, complete with tie, behind the bar, cleaning drinking glasses as his glowing yellow eyes watched you intently. Your eyes darted around the room and you backed back in fear, your back connecting with Darby's front. Don't worry about this lot, they'll just kill you if you betray them, Darby said bluntly as he stepped out from behind you and walked over to a chair by the bar, then sat down next to a villain covered in severed hands, one hand, in particular, covering his face so that you could only see one red beady eye. Your stomach churned and you felt sick, reaching your mouth to cover it so that you wouldn't vomit. "Aw, my new friend isn't feeling well," a very bubbly girl in a school uniform with oversized beige cardigan cooed as she bounced up to you, blushing furiously as she gave you a bright smile, her sharp canines drawing your attention. "She's pregnant," Darby said bluntly. You paled. "Are they going to kill me and my baby?" you thought with fear as you remained silent in the presence of this young, pretty little villain. "A baby," the blushing girl squealed. "I want to suck its blood." Her comment caused you to go into such a state of panic that you passed out, another villain quickly jumping in to grab you before you hit the floor. "Toga, you scared her!" "That's hot, marry me," Twice said as he quickly slid in behind you and caught you before you hit the ground. "We're here. We need her conscious for the job, you nutcase," Darby deadpanned at Toga. "She's just so cute. I love her, and I already love her baby," Toga squealed. "Once she finishes the job, can I stab her in the womb? She'll look so gorgeous covered in blood. I want to be the first to see the baby too." "No," Darby deadpanned again. "Oh, you're no fun," she pouted. "Why exactly have you brought her here again?" the villain covered in hands asked in a bored tone. And that's the end of chapter 61. Stay tuned for chapter 62.